If you've been sitting on your hands waiting for brands to reach out to you, that ends today, because I've done research on 10 brands that are actively trying to find creators to partner with in March 2025. So the first brand that you should pitch in March is Natural Cycles. They hired a creator named Everything Delish, who talked about how she used their app during her pregnancy. So think about if you were on the marketing team of Natural Cycles. You know what's really hard? Figuring out who is pregnant or trying to conceive that they could partner with if they're trying to scale their influencer marketing strategy. You know, when I ran my influencer marketing agency, we got this request all the time, especially for people in the motherhood, pregnancy, fertility space. They were saying, hey, who do you work with that is currently trying to conceive or is actively pregnant? And so we would have to go out there and send a survey out to all the people that we usually worked with. Hey, anyone pregnant? Anyone trying to conceive? To try to identify who would be a good fit for that campaign. So if you proactively reach out to Natural Cycles and say, hey, I'm trying to conceive, I'm pregnant, would love to collaborate with you, that might be all you need to forge a deal. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Capitalize. They hired Caleb Hammer to talk about how you can consolidate your retirement accounts through their program. And so if I click on the vanity URL in the description box of Caleb's video, it takes me to this landing page. And so what I want to talk about here is more of a tactical thing. The only thing that is tying this video to this page is this footer banner at the bottom of the screen that says, "What's up, Caleb Hammer fans? Let's take control of your retirement." I actually think this is not that effective in terms of pulling people down the purchase funnel. You know what would be more effective to me is that above the fold right here, instead of it just saying the fast and easy way to find and move all your old 401ks, I would love to see an exclusive video that Caleb films right there on the landing page on the left there that is like my top 3 tips for consolidating your retirement accounts or something like that. And it's an exclusive piece of content that you film in addition to the integration on your channel. Even if the brand has never considered doing something like that before, you can explain that, hey, look, actually helping people understand that, hey, I use this tool, I love it. In fact, here's some additional, resources, some tips that I can give you. That's going to increase conversions. And a lot of people say, Justin, I can't give that advice to a brand. I'm not a copywriting expert. Like, what if they get mad at me or say like, no, thanks, we're not going to do that? Look, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, wow, no one has ever said that to us before. Or, oh, wow, thank you so much. We'll take that into consideration. But look, your job is to increase the chances of them renewing. And so anything that you can do to actually increase that conversion rate is a very good thing. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Adobe. They hired a creator named Gigi Robinson to talk about their Adobe Express product. This is actually a pretty unique and creative integration that Gigi did. The thing that I loved about this is that if you actually scrub through this video, she attended the Creator Economy Live conference in person and talked about how she created business cards using their tool. But the really interesting thing about not only this video, but the post itself is that there is no link. There is no link that she's driving people towards. And one of the things that I talk about in my book, Sponsor Magnet, is this is clearly an awareness-focused campaign. This is not a conversion campaign where they're trying to track, oh, how many trial signups to Adobe Express is Gigi driving? No, that's not, they don't care about that. And so knowing that, were you to reach out and pitch Adobe, knowing that awareness is something that they care about right now, make sure that you do not lead with conversion-focused metrics or case studies or data trying to convince them to hire you. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Scale AI. They're a big time partner of Dwarkesh Patel's podcast. In fact, you can click here and see in the description box, they are just a general sponsor. Dwarkesh doesn't even talk explicitly about scale in the podcast. And so if you are a creator who has reached a certain level, reached a certain reputation, right? You have a very large podcast, very large presence on the internet. There are brands out there who would absolutely die to just be associated with you, to just be able to say, oh, we are partnered with Dwarkesh. I mean, if you don't know his podcast, it's amazing. It's like super nerdy, all about AI, futurology, things like that. And so if you get connected with the right companies and the right people who watch your show and believe that like, oh man, like only like the who's who in our community, in our industry is watching this, just to be able to say, make a post on LinkedIn and say like, we are so proud to be partnering with Dwarkesh's podcast. That could be enough to get a deal over the finish line. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Food Saver. They hired Costco Finds of Canada to talk about how their vacuum sealing system is now available at Costco Canada. This was actually posted in July of last year. And so they've been for sale, for what, like 10 months or so. How's that going? You reach out, you say, hey, how's that going? How are sales going? Do you have any promotions coming up? My wife, April, and I have done a lot of what's called shopper marketing campaigns where a brand is trying to drive sales of a specific SKU or store keeping unit. Maybe Food Saver is getting end cap treatment or promo in Costco during a certain season. Maybe during the summertime, they've identified that people are barbecuing and they use these types of products more to save all their barbecue food, or I don't know what it is, but just the fact that you did this research is going to super impress them. All right, we got to take a quick break to acknowledge today's sponsor. Not only is he handsome, not only is he humbled, not only does he have a 1-pack. I'm sponsoring myself because my brand new book, Sponsor Magnet, just crossed 2,000 copies sold. What? Guys, I can't even believe it. It feels like I was writing this book for so long, and the fact that it's finally out here in the universe and it's in 2,000 people's hands is totally mind-blowing. The reviews, the testimonials, frankly, that have started coming in of people saying like, I read the book, I took action, and I got my very first brand deal, or I was able to negotiate, 2, 3, 5 times as much money. Like literally, you can go and read some of these reviews that are out there. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. So if you haven't picked up your copy, sponsormagnet.com. What are you doing? Come on. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Cymbiotika. They hired She's Brandy Marshall to talk about how she uses their products in her daily routine. So the first thing that I did is I clicked on Cymbiotika's Instagram handle. I saw that they have some links in their bio. So I said, oh, take our quiz. What is that? So I click here, I go here. Oh, your personal wellness consultant. You know where my mind instantly goes? I wonder if driving to this quiz, they've ever asked creators for that to be the primary call to action. At least I know anecdotally in my own business, people love quizzes. They want to know whatever the industry is, whatever the vertical is, if I can get a score, what type of XYZ are you? People absolutely love that. And so this would be my pitch angle when I reached out to the brand and say, hey, I love this. I took the survey, I took the quiz. Here were my results. This is so amazing. I've actually used your products, XYZ. I would love to actually share this as the primary thing when I talk about it in my content. And that's kind of the KPI, is like, how many people can we get to sign up for this survey? So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Smalls. They hired the Full Coverage podcast to talk about how you can get a discount for 50% off your first order. So I click here, I look at the Vanity landing URL, and I notice discontinuity immediately. Not only is there no profile photo, with the two creators on there, tying this to the actual integration, but I see no mention of the 50% off promo here. All I see is, oh, I have to take a quiz. I don't know. I wanted 50% off, so I'm just going to leave here, right? And so again, leaning into your expertise, were you to reach out and pitch Smalls and say, hey, I would love to talk about this, but can we design a custom landing page together that's more clear about the discount that my audience will receive? So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Snowball. They hired the Business Inquirer newsletter to talk about their private community of experienced entrepreneurial investors creating meaningful wealth. So when I click on the snowballclub.com, it's very simple. It's dead simple. Enter your email address. That's all they're requesting that people do. I actually love the simplicity of this. And so you can clearly see that high-level acquisition of people to join their newsletter is the primary KPI or key performance indicator for Snowball. So that better be what you pitch them when you reach out. You say, hey, I've got a business newsletter. I've got an investing community. I've got XYZ. I saw this partnership that you did last year with the Business Inquirer. I would love to help you acquire additional people to your list. Here's how I can do it. Boom, 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 boom. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Amazon Web Services. They hired a linked influencer named Cassie to talk about her 7 principles about how to thrive in this brave new world of generative AI. And it's not just the video that they sponsored. There's also a longer Medium article here. Again, I go back to this whole idea about thought leadership, right? These big companies who need, to figure out where these audiences are, the decision makers are, to invest in their services. Like Amazon Web Services, yeah, they sponsor the NFL and like all that stuff too. That's their kind of consumer facing stuff. But like the vast majority of the time, they're trying to figure out, okay, how can I get in touch of the IT leaders, the people who have decision making power within these, medium to large enterprises who can, pay tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for our services, probably partnering with someone like Cassie, who has how many? 178,000 followers on a platform like Medium. So again, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, if you are a niche creator, is like, I talk about, is there really any brand out there that would want to hire me? Look at this case study. If you reach out to Amazon, if you reach out to some of these other technical companies, that pitch can go a long way. So the next brand that you should pitch in March is Mockingbird. They hired a creator named Liz Weber to talk about her top 3 reasons why she loves her Mockingbird stroller. And so what I did is I clicked to Mockingbird's TikTok. I went to their link tree. I saw, oh, guess what? They actually have a brand new stroller. It's called the Single to Double Stroller 2.0. So, hey, hey, the pitch is, hey, I would love to do another video just like this, the top 3 reasons why I love my Mockingbird 2.0. Keep it simple. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Justin, I want you to research more brands for me. Well, I got your back. Click this video right here.